Welcome to Search Talk Live with search engine optimization and marketing experts Robert O'Haver and Caleb McKelvin, powered by the Robert Palmer family of companies.
Welcome back to this episode of Search Talk Live. We were out for a week, and I tell you, it has been crazy. I kind of felt like I left my cell phone at home because I didn't have the show last week.
Missing a part of you.
With me today, I've got Caleb McKelvin.
What's going on, Rob?
Not a lot.
Not a lot. Glad to be back,
it,
man. Glad to be back. It was a week off. We kind of got some time to recoup and reflect on how the past shows have been going. We're on, 15, 16, 17? We're almost to 20, aren't we?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so we've had a lot going on. We've done some shows. I think we've grown the show a lot.
Yeah, I mean, when we had the guys from Moz over, we had
that was an awesome show.
A little over 1,000 listeners. I think it was real close to around 1,000 anyway.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
So much good content in that, too. They answered a lot of awesome questions. So if you haven't listened to that show and you don't really know what the Moz tools are, how they can help you in your digital marketing, search engine marketing, SEO and social media efforts, you really need to go back and listen to that show because the insight and information is pretty awesome. Now,
if it's your first time tuning in, I want to tell everybody about the show. Our show is broadcasted on iTunes. You can download it there on your phone. It's also on SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spreaker.com, SPREAKER.com.
We think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah. If you like the show, follow us there. We're trying to build up an audience on there, and obviously our website, searchtalklive.com.
Yep.
You can get all the information coming up, shows that are coming up.
Past shows.
Yeah, exactly. You can listen to the past shows, download them on your phone, or you can download the Spreaker app on your phone and listen to it there.
Yeah.
So we're all over the place.
At Search Talk Live on Twitter, too. If you want to connect with us on there, we'd appreciate it. You can also ask questions.
Yeah.
We love questions. We got a good show coming up today, which we hope you got some questions on. But connect with us, and we'll love to interact with you. 855-722-0006 is the phone number to the show. Option 1. Make sure you hit option 1. We are powered by the Robert Palmer family of companies. You can go to robertpalmercompanies.com. You'll see things like RP Funding, which they're in the news lately here with the new TRID loans, which started October 3rd. Everybody thought it was going to make the loan process much longer, 45, 60 days. They ended up doing it in 2 days, which is 10 days, which is pretty big news. So kudos to them. Way to go. Robert Palmer family of companies. Check them out.
Yeah, so today we're going to talk about social media, guys. Big pain point for a lot of small business companies. They just don't understand how it works and how to really use it to build their business and customer following and, customer base. So we brought in an expert. Today we've got with us Caitlin Stewart, who is our social media expert, and we're going to just ask her all kinds of questions.
Oh, yeah.
And hopefully you guys can learn something from the show and go out and have some actionable items. Caitlin, how are you doing today?
Hi, guys. I'm super excited to be here today, and I'm so thankful that you guys even asked me to come on your show.
Yeah, no, we're happy you did, and excited to have you. And we know that you're going to be able to share your expertise and help our listeners out, and we're definitely ready to dive on in.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Now, Caitlin, let's start out of here. If you're a small business and you obviously can't afford to go out and hire an agency or whatever, what would you say would be the best place to start?
Let's see. The thing with social media is some businesses can flourish on different social channels. So don't think that you have to dive in there and get on every social media channel out there, because you really don't need to do that.
Yeah, it's really overwhelming.
It's super overwhelming. It's time consuming. So really, what I suggest first to businesses is to maybe see what your competitors are on, see what they're using, see what's working for them. So maybe Facebook and Twitter are working for them, and Pinterest not really working at all. So pinpoint which ones you want to do first, and get good at those, and then slowly start opening your
I would say
horizons.
I mean, when you say the main ones, obviously everyone is on Facebook, and then Twitter.
Everyone's on Facebook. Facebook is a little bit easier for everybody than Twitter.
Yeah.
Some people don't see the sense in Twitter I love Twitter, and I know that you guys are flourishing in Twitter. I think Robbo told me that you guys had 500 followers in like the past
3 weeks.
Yeah.
3 weeks. That's
quick.
huge. That's so huge. It's so hard to get followers on there.
Yeah.
But if you're growing it and engaging with people, then it's not too hard to do that. But going back to it, Facebook is probably the number one social media channel that you should get on first, just because there's no limit to your demographics. Like your 56-year-old grandmother can be on there as well as your 15-year-old brother.
Yeah.
So you're really out there for the big, huge audience. You're not with just this little niche audience.
Right. Now, I kind of want to focus on one thing that you had mentioned, and that's your competitor. Mm-hmm. And, as far as an SEO tactic, of course, you want to research your competitor, and there's certain ways that you can do that. But when you're first establishing your social media, what do you really need to take from your competitor? And kind of, is that something you need to focus on for a little bit? Kind of do your research, run some analytics on it, on what they're doing it. What can you actually take from your competitor and what they're doing it? Use it to your own advantage and apply it to your campaigns.
Of course. So going to your competitors' social media channels, you don't want to copy what they're doing.
Right.
Because obviously your audience will catch on. But in your earlier research phase, that's where you want to see who their followers are, who their friends are, and maybe start following those people since they like the same kind of product that you're offering. Right there is going to get you a few new followers.
Yeah.
And then also, you can see what's working for them, what's not working for them. Are they posting stuff and not getting any engagement, or are they posting something that's getting them hundreds of hits?
And how do you, for the listeners, how do you do that when you're on Facebook? I mean, you can't just type in a name and look for, that guy likes,
Right.
How
so,
is that?
So you'll have to pinpoint your competitors, and I would say to pick like 3 or 4 if you can. I mean, just looking up your main competitor would be fine too.
Yeah.
But I would search them, go on their Facebook page, and then see who's engaging with them. Because if you see Carl Thomas likes this post, there's one of your followers right there. Because you're right, you can't see. I think you actually can see who follows a certain brand, and if
I believe you can.
Yeah. So I would click on that, honestly, and try to reach out to them, or even comment on your competitor's post and engage with that person and get a conversation going. And then they're going to be like, oh, who is this conversing?
Well, I'm glad you just said that, because I think a lot of people are kind of tend to be shy about interacting on their competitors' social media because, well, maybe I'm promoting them.
No.
I shouldn't be interacting. There's your target audience right there. And, I think one thing that's really good is sometimes they can't answer a specific question. Mm-hmm. If you read through comments, you'll see people have questions. If people have questions and they're not getting answered, you can directly respond to them.
That is your golden ticket, too, because a lot of people don't respond and engage with their customers. Yeah. And if you see that going on, that is your chance right there to dive into the conversation and reel them in. It's like fishing.
Yeah, I've seen it done a few times where they'll be asking questions about a certain post and those questions go left unanswered. And I'll check back and you'll see smaller businesses swoop in and be like, hey, why don't you check this out? Give us a call. Or, we just actually shared this post that'll answer this question. And boom, you have a target right there. And, they did all the work for you. All you got to do is comment on it.
Yeah.
So I think it's an awesome point.
Interacting with your followers truly breeds like a close-knit community. And it's a chance for you to share insight and news and answer questions to them. So really, if you want to breed that community, that tight bond with your followers or prospective followers, start getting in the conversation and interacting with them.
Right. Yeah, I think it also, from a brand management and customer standpoint, when I would encourage your customers to, if they have a complaint or something they like about your business, to do it on social media.
Absolutely.
When you engage with those people, like even if it's bad, if you're on that right away when somebody has a complaint and you answer that and say, people around you and seeing that engagement, they understand. They're like, oh, they love they care about their customers and they want to make sure they're happy. So then they're gonna get those. They're gonna see that not only that. The fact is if you do get a complaint, it gets buried very quickly. Instead of getting a complaint on a scam reports or somewhere else where it just sits stagnant and just sits there for years and years and years. It's much better to do a complaint on social media and take care of it right away, or if it's good.
Honestly, like when I'm going out to a restaurant or trying to find a restaurant, I'll look them up on Facebook and I'll look at their reviews. Honestly, if people are writing positive reviews, that's fine. I don't really look to see if they write back to them, which you should.
Yeah.
I more so am focused on those negative reviews where people had a horrible experience. And if that business didn't respond, I'm like, okay, next restaurant. Because you need to come to light with that. You need to figure out what went wrong, what happened, respond to them and make it better. And then that's going to make people trust you.
Right. Yeah. Instead of trying to just ignore it or get rid of it, address it.
I mean, you're never going to please everybody.
Exactly.
That's absolutely impossible.
Yeah.
But how you respond to those is really, especially for local businesses. If you own a little pizza shop or, you own a clothing store, something local, social media is basically, I mean, that's your platform to really get out there and expose yourself to your local community and having them interact on social media and responding that way. I mean, you can have a booming business to where you really don't have to compete on an SEO standpoint with the big businesses. You can do it through social media.
And it almost makes you feel like it's too good to be true if there's not one negative
Right.
bad seed.
Yeah. Who's really commenting
exactly.
on that? Yeah.
Are they deleting things? Are these real customers? So definitely that's a big thing I look for on businesses, especially when I'm helping them out with their social media. I go through reviews. That's one of their big things that you need to pay attention to and stay on track with.
There's tools out there you can monitor your social media. Like a good example, like we were just talking about with customer satisfaction. I had an instance with Amazon.com where last Christmas I ordered all my stuff wrapped. When I got the when I got the presents in from the mail, I could have told you a 3 or 4 year old wrapped my gifts. It was just literally slapped together and one piece of tape, and it was just the most ridiculous thing. So I was upset. I went straight to Twitter and said, Amazon, this is ridiculous. I had a picture and everything, and like within less than a minute, someone was contacting me on Twitter, and then they contacted me offline on email and then made sure I was happy, and then they credited back the cost, and they even
that's perfect.
That's customer service.
Yeah, and to publicly recognized the problem, and then they went privately and sent you a message. That is the perfect way to
but they took care of me, and that's
take care
the
of
point.
it. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Because that's what people are going to do. As soon as something goes wrong, they're going to social media or they're going to go write a review. At least that's what I do.
Yeah.
Every time we leave the hotel, my fiance's like, well, that was about it. Well, I'm already on here writing a review. He's like, why are you doing that? I was like, people see this stuff.
So it's very powerful.
Yeah.
Monitoring your social media is huge. And another way too is to get your followers to obviously do like if you're doing blogging or anything like that, you can do posts on Facebook, right? Where you can actually target your audience, your demographic. And correct.
So like running Facebook ads.
Right.
And yes. So
or follow, get paid likes or whatever.
Yeah, of course. Facebook ads are huge, and if you haven't used them before, if you're skeptical of them, they really do work. It's really not that expensive. It just really kind of depends what you're trying to market out there. But you can really target those ads like down to what they bought for dinner. Really,
they really can.
Your gender, your race, if they're a recent home buyer.
Babies.
Seriously, it is crazy what Facebook knows about you. I don't know how they know all this stuff about you, but you can really target those people, so you can trust that those Facebook ads are going to get in front of the people that you want them to get in front of.
Yeah, I heard that you have a 3-cent ad.
CPC.
Yeah. She was bragging about that one. She was.
So the click through.
Let's not be humble.
The what is it? CPC.
Yeah.
Cost per click.
That's it. Sorry. Yeah. Cost per click. So those can range obviously from like $1. I mean, they could be like $5 a click.
Yeah.
But if you're highly targeting your audience, you can get them down to like 5 cents. The guys are talking, I got a CPC down to 3 cents. And of course you have to brag about that. That's huge.
Absolutely. I mean, 3 cents.
And
are you kidding me?
Your spending's like so
$30
not a lot
for 1,000 visitors.
Exactly. Like it's so worth it. So if you really take the time to target those Facebook ads, it's totally worth the price. And you, like I said, you're going to get in front of the people that you want, and you're going to get engagement back.
Yeah. That's also a good way to get started when you're, starting your Facebook pages, to do those kind of things, because you can actually do posts or likes to get people to get you started seated.
Absolutely. And the analytics you get back from those campaigns is so detailed to male, female, what age group, what their interests are, what they've liked, what they're reading, and all that kind of stuff. So it's something that you can monitor. I think it updates every hour, because I've sat there before and hit refresh and see who's clicking on what. It updates every hour, but at the end of the day, you can really go back and see who's interacting with these paid ads. And, it could be your title that you have. It could be the headline that you have. It could be the image. You can test 3-4 images
That's another
and see
thing
which
too.
ones. I mean, the testing that you can do, the A/B testing that you can do is awesome. And that's why I really like, if you're just kind of getting into paid advertising, it's something that it can be low cost, and you can really kind of test and get your hands dirty with, and it's not going to cost you in the long run. So, yeah, I mean, running those ads is awesome.
Take your time with it and really kind of research who you want to target it to. And then, like Caleb said, the images are a big thing. And then whatever you're titling it, you need to make it something enticing that, not clickbait. Don't write something that, don't waste your time with that, because it's eventually it's going to catch up with you. Your customers aren't going to trust you anymore and click on your stuff.
Right.
But if you can get a catchy tagline, that's also going to bring your CPC down.
I mean, it's really a work of art to be able to write one. It's really a work of art, because you think you can just throw anything out there, and you really can't.
No.
People are so picky these days.
Yeah.
It's actually really annoying how picky people are.
It is.
But, if you throw a cat dancing or something like that, people will click on it right and left.
Exactly.
But you write a really interesting article, then an awesome tagline, you think everybody wants to read it, and you get like 3 clicks, and it's like, you got to be kidding me.
So if you're like, I can't do this, I don't know what I'm doing, like, just take your time and go through it slowly, and like we said, target it, use good images, use good taglines. Don't just throw something together, because you're going to waste your money that way.
Yeah, and the targeting takes time, but
it does.
If you get laser focused with it, you're going to your cost per click will be ridiculously low.
Yes.
I mean, I just say use those analytics as much as you can.
Exactly.
Because it'll give you all the information you need on who you should be targeting, and you can really adjust where your ad's going to show up, whether it's going to show in the little right-hand column, or where it's going to show in the news feed and stuff like that. So
yeah, and touching on that, so if you have like an older demographic that you're trying to reach out to, maybe it is smart to keep the ad on a desktop rather than a mobile feed. And then if you're trying to reach out to millennials or something like that, keep it in a mobile feed. So it's like little things like that you need to know about your target audience.
Test.
Yep.
855-722-0006. 855-722-0006. That's option 1. You will get a few options, so just click option 1. It'll send you over here to our man Dave running the board, running the phones, and get you through. If you have questions for myself, Mr. Robert O'Haver, or Miss Caitlin Stewart, about social media, SEO, digital marketing, anything your little heart desires, we got you covered. And we are powered by the Robert Palmer family of companies.
Speaking of, if I'm going to take about 30 seconds to kind of give a shout out.
Oh, go ahead.
One of the companies that Robert Palmer owns is called RP Funding. If you're looking to refinance your home, you can right now until the end of the year, you can refinance your home with no closing costs. That means your title tags, your doc stamps, your government fees, all of that, everything, your appraisal, all of that is paid. So you can refinance your home at no cost.
Refi.
Yeah, and RP Funding is an equal opportunity lender. So, and also if you're buying a new home, you can call them up and they'll help you get a new loan.
Yeah. Got you covered. Robert Palmer family of companies, or robertpalmercompanies.com. This is Search Talk Live. We got Miss Caitlin Stewart. Now, I know we're going to talk about Facebook and Twitter a lot. That's going to kind of dominate the dialogue here. But what social media platforms are not getting the attention they deserve? And I say that because there's so many out there, and we'll kind of stay away from Facebook or Twitter. But what other platforms can companies really use? We're gonna get back to it.
Bravo really wants to learn more about Twitter.
I know he does,
and he's already expert on there, so I don't know why.
No, that's why I want to talk about it.
But I mean, I see my wife on the Instagram, the Pinterest, the Snapchat, and all that kind of, how you can do your storyboard and stuff like this.
Yes.
How can companies really utilize these new platforms? And, is it really something that's going to help boost their brand and boost their business?
Okay, so my favorite channel that doesn't get enough attention is Pinterest. And Caleb, I know you know that your wife spends hours on Pinterest.
Oh man, we're rebuilding our house, or we're redoing our house, and I even get on Pinterest now because it's got so many DIY stuff. So I was wondering why it was so addictive, and after I hopped on and was stuck for about an hour and a half or so, I was like, okay, I get it.
I figured you'd be on YouTube.
No, yeah, YouTube is a good one too for your DIY projects. But anyways, Pinterest, it's really going to help you if you have a website for your business. It's really going to help revert customers over from Pinterest to your website, because basically Pinterest is like this big Google search engine. Mm-hmm. I was looking for different hairstyles the other day and looking up like a certain color or something, and then I would get these pictures on my news feed, and once I clicked on them, it would take me to the blog site of this hair salon. And that's pretty big to get people over to your blog or your website from a social media channel. Because like with Instagram, you can't really do that. Snapchat, you can't really do that either. Snapchat and Instagram are going to be more visual marketing for your business. But Pinterest will actually, it really does help with website traffic. Hashtags can be used in Pinterest to help people find your stuff. And then infographics too. If you use any type of infographics, pinning them on Pinterest for people to visually see, that's going to be your best way to market on Pinterest.
Yeah. You can put videos on there too, right?
There you can, but once you click on it, it's going to take you to that website, and then the video will play.
Gotcha.
Unlike Instagram, where that video will
plays on there.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be great for something like a local restaurant or something. You show pictures of their food.
Show your food. Show like a mock-up recipe of one of your best
clothing store.
All that stuff. And then Pinterest also has analytics as well, and it will tell you like your top pin, what people are actually clicking on, who your Pinterest fans are, girl or boy, the age range, what time of the day they're getting on. All of these social channels have analytics on them, and I don't know if you guys know, I'm sure everyone kind of knows that, but Pinterest has something called Viral Woot. You ever want to check that out too, where you can pin your stuff ahead of time for the weekend if you don't want to do it that day.
That's for Wootsuite you use?
Viral Woot for Pinterest.
Oh.
Viral Woot.
Specific for Pinterest.
Yes, specific for Pinterest. And then if you want to look at the analytics, that's only for if you make a Pinterest business page. So like your wife, Caleb, she wouldn't be able to look at the analytics of her pins, but obviously she doesn't have a business on there. Yeah. So she's not worried about that. But for those people that are worried about people clicking on their pins and who's clicking on them, go ahead and make your Pinterest a business page, not the regular page. And then with Instagram, I like Instagram, but like with Facebook, when you post stuff, you can also post a link with it.
Yeah.
Instagram's not really going to let you do that. You can use hashtags so that people can find that image. But as far as like, go visit this blah, blah, blah to see our newest, recipe of the day.
Right. Yeah.
Say we're a restaurant or something. The only way you could put your link on there is on your profile itself in the bio. So unless people are actually going to your profile, they're not going to see that link in your pictures. So that's the only downfall with Instagram.
So if you wanted to tweet a certain, say, infographic or whatever, you can't do that? Is that what you're saying?
No. You can post an infographic.
Okay.
But if you wanted to link it to something they can't click on it.
It's just the image.
It's literally just the image.
Gotcha.
So that's the only downfall with Instagram. So I would lean more towards Twitter and Facebook, but Pinterest and Instagram are a great way to like visually show your followers what your business is all about.
The one thing that I've seen on Pinterest and Instagram is before and after pics. Mm-hmm. That's the one thing that goes crazy on there is before and after pics, especially for home decor, for home improvement, for all this other kind of stuff. So if you are in that business, I think that's a huge platform for you to use because people love that kind of stuff.
And use the hashtag before and after, even hairstylists.
Yeah.
I'm always looking up hairstyles too on Instagram, and I'll specifically target my city too, like Orlando hairstylist. Yeah. And when I search that, like Google, you search that hashtag on Instagram, and any image that used that hashtag will pop up. So it helps you find businesses around.
Very cool.
Well, we got a caller, guys.
All right.
Monica, welcome to STL.
Hi.
Hi, how are you today?
How are you, Monica?
Hello, Monica.
You have a question?
I just popped on a little staticky. Maybe I should call back?
No, you're fine. We can hear you fine.
You guys are. Yeah, I just happened to see Richard's post on LinkedIn, and I said, well, let me call in. I might be late, but...
Okay, we'll
I
go.
thought I'd give a call in.
You have a question for us?
Well, I mean, I was just actually, I work in SEO and social media.
Okay.
And I just had a client on the line today. We were going over just like a competitive analysis of social media versus, competitors, their site versus competitors. And I guess I was thinking, like, I was looking at the analysis, and it looked like most of the competitors are not very active on social media, but they have a lot of reviews in the right places. So I'm just wondering the relevancy and the interconnectivity of social media and SEO in 2015 going into 2016. How important is it to be on every social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Google+, Instagram, Pinterest? I know it depends on the industry, but that's my question, I guess.
Okay, so that's a really good question. Now, we've gotten confirmation from Google on this, and one thing that Google has said, that do not use social signals at all for SEO. And they've also been done some case studies where it just doesn't affect. But where social media is needed, and Caitlin, you can back me on this, is for branding.
Yeah.
It's for being in front of your customer and interacting with those people and building your customer base.
Correct.
A great way to, you can track, you can set things in your posts so that you can track all the traffic, and if you want them to automatically go into forms and stuff like that, so you can track all that stuff, you can do that. But it's mainly for branding purpose and being there for your customers, so interacting. Caitlin, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, and then basically, so I think you should kind of know who your target audience is as a business. If you don't, like I said, you can research it, but kind of see what age group they're in. What do they do for a living? And you can even Google stuff like which platform serves this type of person, and you can put in there like this age group or this job title, blah blah blah. And then the part where you were talking about the reviews, this person or this business didn't use much of their social media, but they did have reviews in all the right places. That's probably just something on their marketing strategy. Like, I'm sure after they make a sale with this person, they send a follow-up email, hey,
Absolutely.
Share your review,
Yeah.
which is really smart on their part,
Right, yes.
because that's
Absolutely.
what people are looking for. Even leaving like a card after you've eaten your meal that says share your review on here. More than likely, that's probably what they're doing. But along with that, they really should be using their social media to help their brand
Right.
identity and stuff like that. But, I mean, with those reviews, they're on the right track.
And to answer your question, you really don't need to be on everything.
No.
Kind of like what Caitlin said, pick 3 top ones and stick to those. But it is a commitment. It's not just set up an account because somebody told me you need to have a social media account. You really need to set that up and you be active on it and engage with people.
Yeah.
Yeah, pick your platform wisely.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you're unsure, then, like we said, search your competitor and see what channels are working for them.
Yeah. And if your competitors aren't very active on social media, which honestly, in certain niches and industries, a lot of people aren't active on social media, you might just have to go a little deeper into analytics and research your audience and who you actually want to target.
Exactly.
And base it off that and what they're actually using. Because if you're going for a younger demographic, there's more social media platforms you can use. If you're going for an older demographic, you're going to have to stick to things like Facebook, because that's really only, many things are only they're on.
That's where Facebook plays
Yeah.
in, because there's really no discrimination with age.
And,
Right.
and
Facebook.
Monica, another thing is if their competitors are not using social media, guess where that opens you up for? That kind of makes you stand out as the
Exactly.
authority in that
Yeah.
product and service. And you can really, I mean, if you Twitter to me is like a gold mine for businesses.
It really is.
If you know how to use it. Facebook, the same thing. Everybody's on Facebook. If you know how to target your audience, you can really clean up.
Yeah. But it all goes back to one thing, and that's kind of the center at everything, and that's something we preach on here consistently, is it has to be quality content.
Yes.
You can throw anything out there and target the right audience and have it down to a T, but that's the thing, your competitors might not be throwing quality content out there, and so nobody wants to interact with it, and so you can clean house by throwing quality content, by providing, really interactive videos, podcasts, awesome articles, infographics. So research, if they're not getting much interaction, research the content that they're providing, and you might want to steer clear from that and go a whole different direction, and you might just start booming while you leave the competitors in the dust.
David, is Monica still on the line? Hey, Monica.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm really being a trooper here because it's incredible static. I really have to listen hard to hear you guys, but
I'm sorry.
I appreciate all your advice. Another question I have is, so you're saying that social signals are dead?
No, they're not dead, but they're not considered ranking.
In terms of SEO.
Yeah, they're not considered ranking factors. Now, it's a good way to, from a link building standpoint, it's going to be a channel that you have to get your content out there and get other people linking to you. And so it kind of stems from the quality content. You can use their social media, and that's one thing that's going to be huge because they really don't want you buying links. They don't want you doing much outreach and all this kind of stuff. So for natural link building purposes, using your social media to interact not only with your customer base or with your target audience, but also with others in your industry, that's going to give you more opportunities for those sites to link to you. And that is the healthiest type of link building that you could possibly have. So from an SEO and a link building standpoint.
When you say other sites link to you, okay. I mean, that sounds like a wonderful concept. But what do you mean when you say other sites link to you? You mean if they via their blog, or how are they linking?
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
Just within their content. So if they're writing content about an industry, the industry that you're in, if they are trying to provide content for their audience and use you as a source, just maybe you wrote an article on a specific topic that another site happens to be talking about or providing their audience, and they want a reference point, they're only going to want to cite or include quality content to help boost their own content, and so they will link to you as a resource,
right?
And that's a backlink, and those are definitely a ranking signal when it comes to search engines, and you want to have a healthy backlink profile, and that's one way that you can do it.
Now, Google's able to crawl Twitter. They can crawl the post. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but Google now shows Twitter posts in the search results.
Yeah.
So if you can do that, Google the link to your site is a no follow tag, so Google doesn't follow that, but it does. I mean, there's a lot of things that potential customers can see just by using that, and you get that interaction that people that are interested in that stuff follow you, not from an SEO standpoint, but from gathering new customers and people to visiting your site is why you use social media.
Yeah. I mean, you want to get them there. I mean, maybe you have a newsletter sign up, an email sign up, you get them, you build that loyal following. Social media is the platform that's going to help you do that.
Yeah. Does that answer your question, Mike?
Another question I had is, now social media, I got your take on that. What about social bookmarking, though?
That's dead.
What about Delicious, Stumble Upon, Reddit? What about sharing?
That's all ways to amplify your content.
Pardon me?
That's all ways to amplify your content.
Yeah, Reddit is actually, it's a forum-based where you can really get into conversation and talk about specific things and kind of boost your own presence.
Tumblr's a good one.
Tumblr's a good one. Quora is an awesome one. Quora. Yeah, Quora. Where you can really provide sound advice. Kind of build yourself up as an authoritative a presence that you really know what you're talking about. People, and the more you interact on it, the more people are inclined to listen to what you have to say, find out who you are, find out what your business is, your brand, visit your website. So those are all some good platforms to do it. And that's really where you want to provide some sound advice and kind of amplify what you're about and what you have to say.
Yep. All right.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks,
right.
Monica.
Thanks
we
for
appreciate
calling
it.
in.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Monica.
All right.
All right. That was an awesome call.
Yeah.
Thank you, Monica. If you
Great
also
questions.
would like to call in, 855-722-0006, 855-722-0006. Go ahead and press option 1, and you will be connected to our man, Dave, with your question, and we can talk about it on air.
Now, Caitlin, let's talk about Twitter, please.
Twitter.
What
Now,
about it?
The thing I like about Twitter, and I've got a ton of followers, and it's all from following. I mean, all from being active as far as, if I don't even write, most of the stuff I don't even write. If I see a great article and I think it's really good content that somebody can share and get good information out of, I share it. You
Right.
don't have to be a great writer to do it. But the way you find people, I think, and the way you interact with people is important. Like, you obviously don't want to follow people just to follow people. You want to look at the top of Twitter. There's a little search thing. You can do search terms in a parentheses. Like I've used in the past. If somebody's looking to buy a watch, you can type in, I'm looking to buy a watch. I need a new watch, something like that. You'd be surprised what people tweet about. Those are people you look for. Those are the people you follow, and you don't have to be a salesman. You don't have to go, hey, I sell watches. Come buy my watches. You just basically just follow them, and they follow you back. They see that you sell watches. It should be very plain and obvious on your profile. And then, maybe you can send them a response for, hey, thank you for following me. Here's a coupon to buy a new watch. Or
Yes. Those are all really great ideas.
It's very passive, and it doesn't, it's not like, hey, how you see some of these people, hey, buy 100 followers, which, by the way, we'll get into that too.
Yeah. Can't wait to dive into that one.
But it's a very passive way to engage with people, and all you have to do is show that you know what you're talking about. Follow the people with the same interests, and there you are.
Yes.
You've got new customers.
So like you were saying with Twitter, you definitely have to be active on there.
Yeah.
Gosh, if I take a week off of there, which I should never take a week off of there, but say I do, I'll either lose some followers or I won't gain any that week.
Yeah.
And that's all because I wasn't posting or I wasn't liking retweeting other people's stuff. But like you were talking about with the search ability on there, you can search a certain hashtag.
Right.
Depends what let's say we'll go back with the restaurant thing. You could type in there Orlando restaurant.
Yep.
And then you'll see some people are tweeting, where should I eat at in Orlando?
Right.
Hashtag Orlando restaurant. That right there is your cue to reply back to them. Hey, come check us out at blah, blah, blah. Here's $5 off your first meal, or we'll offer you a free appetizer.
Yep.
And then other people that start searching that hashtag are going to see where you got in that conversation, and they're going to tweet to you too and start following you.
Yep. And before you know it, you'll have a ton of followers.
Yeah.
It's not quite that easy, but
No, it takes time. It definitely takes time and farming to get your Twitter followers up. But
oh, absolutely.
Another thing that you said too, Robbo, is following other people and saying thank you to them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So weird, but that actually works to help you get followers too.
Yeah.
I guess it's the nice gesture. Or the fact that they're getting tweeted.
Well, I know one thing I really like is when I see the numbers by the notifications. I'm like, oh, somebody's following me or somebody's retweeting me.
Me
You
too.
know, and I want to see what's going on. And I love shout outs. I don't know why when people shout out to me for following them and they put like a GIF with it. I do that all the time now. But, people like seeing those notifications, who's noticing them, who's retweeting their stuff, who's favorite. It makes people
retweets are
feel
the
good. It
best.
makes them feel included. And
Yes.
when you make people feel included, they're going to pay attention to what you have going on, especially if you're whether you're a big brand or not, when you are interacting with, your audience and your customers and everything like that, when you make them feel included, you make them kind of feel part of the family, and that's
They
building
feel like your
loyalty.
Twitter friends.
Yeah. And
they're loyal.
You're sitting at the cool table, with all your peeps, kind of thing.
The cool lunch table.
And another thing you don't want to fall into is doing that auto response, because
I don't
a lot
like
of it's like, follow me on Facebook. You know, it's just
you're talking about the messages that they'll send. Oh, I hate those.
Yeah. And then you go to their Facebook page, and that same thing they tweeted is on their Facebook.
Right.
On there,
Why would you follow that?
Yeah.
So I mean, especially when you reply to them and you put their actual name or something that shows that, oh, this was actually had a personal touch to it.
Yeah, customize
Goes
it.
a long ways.
It really does.
Make it personable.
I don't like the generic kind of thing. It's like when you were a kid and you wrote a letter to the president, and then you got the thing with the fake signature and all that kind of stuff.
You're like, what is this?
This is crap.
Yeah.
What is this? But when, somebody's like, hey, Sarah, I appreciate you following me.
Just using their name.
So glad we could connect. I look forward to, your tweets and all this kind of stuff. You're like, okay, thanks. I appreciate that.
And if I just followed you, don't message me asking me to buy your book.
Right.
We need to build a relationship first, and you need to tell me what you're all about. Don't do the sales type.
Yeah, and another thing you can eliminate spam too is if you get followers that have the default egg picture. That's a default that comes with your account when you open it. Change it if you have one, because you won't get many followers with that there, because those are usually spam accounts. They're opened up real quick. They don't take any time. They just put it out there and just start following people. And then the other
people
thing,
don't trust you.
Yeah, exactly.
Credibility.
Yep. The other thing too is you want to not buy followers. Buying followers, even though if they say it's they're real followers, even if they are, they're not somebody that's interested in your product or service.
It's a worthless audience, kind of.
Yeah.
So don't think you're ever going to get any interaction with them.
I know it looks cool to have like thousands of followers, but I mean, what is it really doing for you if none of them are real yet, or even interact with your content, share your content, anything like that?
I could say I have 17 or 18,000 people following me right now. Every single one of them are people that are interested in what I do. Brag alert. I'm not. No, I'm just kidding. I'm very humble.
That's what I'm saying.
But I have met some.
But that took time, right? That took a long time.
Yeah.
Since 2009.
Yeah. You get on there every day?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you?
But I get messages every day and new followers.
You're retweeting people every day? Are you what? Like, what's a typical day in Robbo's life on Twitter?
It's like a soap opera.
Being an SEO, I love to read articles because it's all research. That's all we do all day long, basically, is research and find out new things and what's Google doing. And like they just said on the 15th and 16th, that Google probably released another Panda update. But those are things we need to be in touch on, especially being on this show. We kind of need to be up to date on everything. So it's always a research thing. So when I see something I like, I just tweet it. And it's because I know my audience, because it's highly targeted and they're all interested in the same thing I am. I sent that to them, especially if it's something that can help them.
Well, I'm kind of expand on what you're saying is that when you're doing this, you want to be a trusted source.
Yeah.
You don't just want to tweet, retweet, follow, unfollow. You want to establish yourself as a trusted source. That's one way you're going to gain followers. If they're like, this, they're tweeting out stuff that's really actually going to help me, or it's worth reading, or it's worth interacting with. That makes a huge difference instead of just retweeting, or tweet this or whatever it may be.
And be personable as well.
Yeah.
I saw one that's really funny. I'm not going to repeat what they tweeted, but if you go to IHOP's Twitter account, it's hilarious. But anyway, what I would recommend, I mean, like I send out personal, not too personal, but I send out, hey, my followers are awesome, stuff like that.
Yeah. Just
being personable because my people, because I really have, and I've met hundreds and hundreds of really awesome people, and they're all my followers. Like Rand Fishkin is the one. Cyrus Shepard, all those guys, there I go with Moz again.
There you go.
but
gotta have a Moz plug.
Yeah, Moz plug. So just all kinds of people, from social media to SEO to paid per click people. All the people are all in the same industry, and just I talk to them on a daily basis. They send me questions, and I'll answer them. I mean, it's a good interaction. And
interacting and engaging.
Yes,
that's
exactly
what Twitter's all about.
Yeah. 855-722-0006, 855-722-0006. Go ahead and press option 1 to get your question on to Search Talk Live. This is Search Talk Live with Robert O'Haver, Caleb McKelvin, our special guest, Miss Caitlin Stewart. We are powered by the Robert Palmer family of companies, robertpalmercompanies.com. Go ahead and check it out, see what they have to offer. We're talking about social media marketing. One thing, Caitlin, I kind of want to talk about, and because I think some people listening, actually probably a lot of people listening, are sitting there with their Twitter account and they have like 12 followers and they're having a really tough time boosting it. Is there anything that they can do to kind of not necessarily overnight change things or overnight gain a following, but kind of quickly make a difference in their followers and their audience? Is there anything that they can do, any tactics that they might be able to apply that aren't necessarily simple, but it's not going to break the bank, and they can just kind of boost their presence a little bit?
Yeah, I was going to say there's paid options and there's organic options.
Yeah.
Obviously, paid are going to be the Twitter ads, but I have found that Twitter ads are quite pricey, so I stay away from them. I've never ran one for my personal brand, but for businesses, I've used it a few times, and it was pretty pricey. So for organic followers, my steps for gaining followers, I will go to obviously, I'm most interested in social media. So I'll go to like those big name, like Social Media Examiners or something like that. And I'll see if they're tweeting anybody. It's kind of like Facebook. And then I'll start talking in the conversation with them, see if they'll follow me. Or, I'll just go ahead and follow them myself. And I'll also check out the followers of Social Media Examiner, and I'll try to follow a few of them. Obviously, I look at their profile before I press follow because I want to make sure they're legit.
Right.
They don't have the egg. And I want to make sure in their bio, maybe they say something about social media. And if they do, of course, I will click on that. And then a lot of the times, I am just constantly sharing articles, like Rob said, and using relevant hashtags that I would want my follower to be searching. So like social media marketing, content marketing. Sometimes I'll throw in SEO.
Mm-hmm.
So once you throw in those hashtags, all the right people, your target audience that you want that'll be searching those hashtags, they're going to see you and they're going to follow you. But mostly I get the most followers when I'm sharing stuff constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You really honestly don't have to, hashtags is a good practice, but you can search without, if somebody puts in a phrase that you put in there, you can find that just by doing that search. But
yeah, it's kind of like Google too.
I think one awesome way, and I've done this before, I've been invited to them, and I've also just kind of interjected myself into them without being asked, is Twitter chats. Okay. You'll see people do a Twitter chat with a hashtag. I know a lot of financial companies do it. I know a lot of SEOs do it. They'll have, link building chat or SEO chat, or they'll, and you'll see big brands do a Twitter chat where they'll invite people and they'll ask them questions and you can provide your answers. That's kind of a new thing now. And if you kind of engage in those, you'll find that people will really start interacting with you, especially if you're providing some quality answers. People will start following you. They'll start retweeting your stuff. Yeah. They'll start favoring your stuff. And just participating in those, not only for my personal brand, but for some other companies, seeing that there's been a significant increase in followers and engagement from those. So, if you're in a certain industry, if you're in a certain niche, see if you're one of your competitors or see if anybody within that industry, if they do put on a Twitter chat, and go ahead. Some of them do it. Yeah, hop in the conversation.
On top of that, because you're projecting yourself as an industry leader.
Yeah.
So people are going to trust you and they're going to be like, oh, he has all the answers. Let me follow him. Also, do you guys get added to Twitter lists?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you interact with those?
I've seen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I've interacted
That's a great
with them. That is I'm glad you brought that up. That's some of them you just get added just to people just add you, and then some of them are actually pretty legitimate.
Right.
And that's an awesome way to interact with people within your industry and also new customers and a new audience once you do get added to those lists. So, it's kind of a whole different, it's like a room just full of people, that are in that industry, just chatting it up.
I was researching some that I got added to this past week, and most of the people in there are people in my industry that like the same stuff that I do. There's some list that had a bunch of eggs, so I'm like, okay, this is obviously
the
spam.
egg.
Yeah, so I
don't have the
I
egg.
don't trust the eggs.
The eggs.
But
I mean, when I get people that try to that follow me with an egg, I send them a tweet and I tell them, look, change your image, I'll follow you back. But other than that, I don't follow. I was just straight up.
Do you give response when you do that?
Rarely.
Yeah.
If you have the egg, go change it.
We don't trust you.
We don't trust the eggs.
Yeah, I mean, I do that because a lot of people that are new to Twitter, they don't know.
Yeah, no, that's
So
true.
I could just keep my egg. It's cool.
That's true.
It's the egg, man.
Yeah.
I had it, when I first started on Twitter. Whatever, the egg, cool. I don't want people to see my face, anything. But anyway.
I think the very first thing as a business is you need to change your profile picture to your logo, preferably. And then your cover photo, grab a very nice professional-looking photo and fill out your bio.
Yeah.
Do you recommend for a company that has, do you recommend doing it as the company or do you recommend doing it as the company and the employees?
Do a company page and then do separate employee Twitters as well.
Yeah, and I think some people might see that as spammy when they have a company page and then its employees have a specific page for that company. Mm-hmm. That's not at all.
No.
As long as you're just sharing regular content, being interactive, it's another way just to spread your content out, get it in front of more, amplify it, exactly, amplify that content. I've done it before, and it works very well. Now, if you can be really spammy with it, and it can be really annoying, and you can tick a lot of people off, but don't just have it automated to where nobody's actually using it.
No,
I don't suggest that at all. I suggest if you're going to have one for that specific person, they manage it and they're on it and they're interacting with it and stuff like that. So don't just have an automated one that's like a bot just spitting stuff out.
Yeah.
But you're all like a business. So different people specialize in other things. So like I could maybe answer a question that Caleb couldn't answer. So if I had my own Twitter, it just kind of looks better.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're down to about the last 10 minutes of the show. Now, to call in, 855-722-0006. Again, that's 855-722-0006, option 1. And, another thing, Caitlin, you were talking about is also follow your competition.
Yeah.
And when you
absolutely.
in Twitter, you can get it so where every time they send out a tweet or something, you can get a notification. And I think that's a great thing because then you can see what they're doing and what you're not doing or vice versa or if you're better than them.
Yeah. And we're not saying go copy everything they're doing,
No.
but you can learn so much by somebody else that's doing the same thing as you. I mean, what if they're excelling in it? You need to know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Who's talking to them, who's engaging with them, and see if they're sharing anything cool that maybe you should put into your marketing strategy, like the coupon idea or...
Yeah, there's also certain tools out there, too. You can follow followers of a follower. Did that's right.
Follow of a follower, yeah.
Yeah, so you can follow your competition's customers and have them follow you back.
Yeah.
If they're interested in a product like similar to what your competition has, then those are your targeted people, and that makes it easier.
Yeah.
But you can also go to, like we were talking about, lists. You can go to that list and follow the people on the list if it's pertinent to what you do or you offer.
Yeah. Now, I would like to throw a little trick that I've done before. Caleb's little trick of the day. If you are like a content site, if you do write blogs and you're writing articles on the time and you have outbound, if you use another site as your source, if you reference them inside your content, if you link to them inside your content, let them know through a Twitter message.
Yes.
Hey, I just want to let you know I wrote this article. I referenced one of your articles in it. I linked to one of your articles in it. If you want to share it, go ahead. And 9 times out of 10, they will share it with their audience just because they're mentioned in it.
That's a really good
Or just because they're linked to it in it.
Absolutely.
So go ahead and shoot them a Twitter message. Shoot it to them on Facebook, whatever platform. Be like, hey, I wrote this article. I really enjoyed your piece. So I linked to it in my article. So if you want to share it with your audience, go ahead. And that's just another way to get it out there.
Article tweets are really important too. I get a lot of my website traffic to my personal website from Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I want to give a shout out to Monica who called in. She just left a very nice comment on LinkedIn for us. It says, excellent show. Learned a lot about use for social media for business. Thank you all. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Thanks, Monica. We appreciate that. Shout out to Monica. Great questions, by the way, which we love questions because, helps guide the content a little bit and the dialogue.
Yeah, we love callers, too.
Callers.
How are we looking, David?
Getting
got
close.
6 minutes, guys.
Getting
So call
6
in
minutes.
855-722-0006.
Yeah, you
Option
can,
1.
at Search
Caitlin.
Talk Live. You can also ask on Twitter.
Yeah, and Caitlin, we really appreciate you
Yes,
coming in,
you've
No, I
been
am so
awesome.
giving us
thankful.
your insight.
Thank
Yeah.
you for having
It's
me.
been awesome.
One thing that we didn't touch on, which
What's
I
that?
don't know if you wanted me to, was
Yeah.
Snapchat.
Oh, yeah.
Snapping.
It's
Take it
really, that's really going to be one of those social channels that you don't need to have. But if you have like millennials and younger generation in your target audience, you do want to have Snapchat.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of like realtors or I know realtors don't have well, they have millennials in their target audience. What am I talking about? Realtors, you know, they can add Snapchat. People start marketing that you have Snapchat, show your name on everything that you have, all your marketing materials, your signature, put all your social channels in your signature. But you can like take videos that are only 10 seconds and they get deleted after people watch them, and go do a tour of your new home that's being listed this week that you have an open house on.
Take a
this
selfie
weekend.
with the house in the background.
Take
We
a
make
selfie.
it personal.
Yeah. Send your photos to people that you know are looking for this type of house. Snapchat really is, it's one of those new social channels that's expanding, but it really is great to use visually.
Good point.
You can kind of use, correct me if I'm wrong because I'm not much of a snapper, but
I snap my whole life.
but you can like create a story,
Yes.
right? Can't you?
Yeah, so you can either send a private picture or video to somebody, or you can add it to your story, which people, once they add you on Snapchat, they can watch your story for 24 hours and then it disappears.
I mean, just you mentioned the real estate agents. How cool would it be if you created a story with a first-time home buyer,
Exactly.
and track their entire from start to finish? You know, them finding the home, going through all the decisions and stuff like that, and really track their story. I think that'd be really cool.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean,
There's this Miami plastic surgeon, which he tracks all of his surgeries, and it's actually really appealing, and you learn so much.
Yeah.
But he tracks his whole week, and he has tons of followers.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Caitlin, this is such a huge subject, and I think would you like to come back to the show sometime?
Oh, anytime.
I think we should cover some other things, and
Yeah.
just so much to cover in an hour, but we're running out of time.
Yeah.
I want to thank everyone for listening, your support. Search Talk Live is every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can call in or email us. If you go to our website, searchtalklive.com, you can listen to us there. We are on iTunes, SoundCloud. Help me out. What else?
Sprecher,
Yeah.
Twitter, Facebook. We got
we got 3
everything.
minutes left. Okay, well, I'm cutting it too
All
short.
right,
I'm gonna add them
cut
to.
it.
I'm gonna add them to Instagram too. By the
Okay.
way,
We'll
You
cut
can
it.
reach Caitlin on Twitter at Twitter.
At-
Caitlin, sorry.
at Caitlin Stewart _, and that's KATELYNSTUART.
Yep, and you can. She's actually tweeted some stuff that Search Talk Live. So if you can't find
Yeah,
her
you should
there,
see
you
me.
can go at Search Talk Live. At Search Talk Live on Twitter. You can find her there. We got some great pictures with her duck face.
Duck face. I wear the sunglasses and the pink lipstick in my profile.
Yeah.
But yeah, check us out.
And then you can reach Caleb at
CJ _MCE. Hit me up.
and Robert at ROBERTOHAV as in Victor ER. Again, thank you for listening to the show.
Absolutely.
Thank you for your support. Follow us on Sprecher because we're trying to get our followers up. We got quite a few now, but we're working towards getting on iHeartRadio.
Yeah.
And to just kind of amplify our kind of like social media.
Shout out to Robert Palmer Family of Companies as well for powering this show. We definitely appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And yeah, awesome show. Thanks again, Caitlin.
Yes.
We can't wait till
Thank you guys
next
for having
week.
me.
Yes.
We'll be back on air. So come back on Tuesday, 3:30 Eastern Time, and Search Talk Live. We'll be back at it.
Yep. See you next Tuesday.
Signing off.
Bye.
Search Talk Live is a presentation of the Robert Palmer Family of Companies.